You mentioned your respect for the operational security of the Ukrainians. There's been a lot of media reports, and especially on social media, of what are being described as intelligence leaks, and many sources claiming that they're coming from the U.S. What do you think of those? Are they accurate, or is it a bunch of smoke? And how significant do you think they are?
Well, of course, Sharnder, thank you. Yes, yes, and yes. I mean, there have been times in history where nations or governments or armies would intentionally leak information as part of a deception plan. You know, there was a great movie that just came out called Mincemeat about, trying to convince the Germans where the Allies were going to land in Italy, not Sicily, or something. It was something like that. And it involved a corpse with plans that were allowed float ashore, picked up by the Spanish, and the Germans took the bait on that. So, I mean, that was a planned intelligence leak with false information. So, all the things that are coming out, I couldn't tell you how much of what Airman Teixeira's big time, what was spilled out, how much of that was legitimate. Did anything kind of get tacked along with it for purposes? I mean, that's the challenge whenever you're doing the intelligence work, trying to pick through what you're seeing and reading and hearing. How much of this is real? How much of this is deception? How much of this is just carelessness? In the case of Airman Teixeira, of course, there's an investigation going on. And as I looked at the different things that came out, I didn't see anything that was like, oh my God, the Ukrainians are going to have to change all their plans now. I didn't see anything like that. But it was embarrassing, first of all, that so much information could be attained by such a junior service member. And also, it was incredibly frustrating to read some of the things like where the chairman says, well, I don't think that Ukrainians will be able to, I don't think this offensive will be so successful, or, I mean, it was kind of some negative things that got out there. Of course, that could be for somebody else's purpose. And it's embarrassing whenever you have a big leak because other countries are like, God dang it, if you share with the Americans, you're probably going to be reading about it in the Washington Post in a couple of weeks. I doubt that anybody is going to back away because they all want access to American intelligence as well, and that this is all part of the price of doing business. My sense, when I saw the leak from Airman Teixeira, my sense was that what we were probably going to find is that here's a young man who, it's not so unusual that a junior service member would have a high security clearance, because all of our guys that work in IT, Intel, do certain jobs, you're required to have a clearance, but that's different from having access to information. We talk about compartmented information, need to know, those things are still true. So the fact that he was able to get his hands on so much tells me that there is a serious training and discipline problem in his unit, that there were probably multiple failures at leadership levels of people not saying, hey, what? And in fact, I think I saw something the other day that said he had, in fact, they knew he had been doing things and he had not been properly disciplined or moved out of there. And then, of course, when you start finding out more and more about his background, you wonder, how did he get this kind of a clearance if a proper background check had been done? So I think that's the bigger problem for us, is that discipline within our own system.